I'll continue doing it.
And you'll be a runner forever.
I will probably run forever. Yeah.
Yeah?
I will probably run forever.
All right, and welcome back to The Price for Paradise. My name's Woody, a.k.a. Creston Woods, and back again, we have Hannah Howerter. Welcome back to the podcast.
Yeah, I'm excited to be back.
We're going to talk another ultra marathon story. We had Kira on last time, but now we have Hannah to talk her story, and wow, is it a story. We did the Vortex Ultra Marathon not too long ago, and Hannah, how do you feel about the race?
I feel pretty good. It was a great race. The views are
immaculate. Like if you're gonna run
yeah.
anywhere, running in Sedona is the place.
Yeah, and it is called The View. So it definitely makes up for its name. So I thought the race went great. Amazing people. I would definitely do it again. Let's say that.
So Hannah had the craziest race experience during this race. So she passed me twice. I was not expecting that. Unfortunately. So we're going to start it off with like just the beginning of the race. Me and Hannah were in the front of the pack, right? And so we tried to hold for a long time in the front of the pack, and Hannah was actually trying to pass everybody. They wouldn't let her through.
Yeah. We held on for till the first aid station, I think was until mile 6 or 7. In the front of the pack. So everyone was just moving together. It was a really small trail at the beginning.
Yeah, it's like single track. Everyone's in line with each other, and you're only going as fast as the guy in the front.
Yeah. But we weren't pacing super quick. I'll just say that. My goal was to pace anywhere from 9-minute miles to 10-minute miles the entire race to hit my goal time. And I think, at the beginning, we were holding at one point like 11-minute mile pace.
I could see her getting frustrated. She's like trying to get around them, but there's like not enough room on the shoulder, and there's rocks and different things in the way.
Yeah. I know a lot of people on ultra marathons and trail races. They love to talk and hang out with people.
It's a fun experience, guys. And for people like me, that's me.
Yeah, I unfortunately am not like that. I just prefer to be alone, actually, and run the entire race by myself for the most part. So I was ready to skedaddle out of there, but it was fun at the beginning getting to hear everyone's stories.
Yeah, and so the way they formatted this race is they had us hit the same aid stations a couple times, and then if you look at our race map, it looked like a bunch of figure eights and a bunch of weird routes. And so when we were out there, sometimes you miss your turns, and me and Hannah both missed a turn. Now I didn't miss a turn as big as Hannah did, but Hannah,
it was a complex trail to say the least. There was massive loops that looked like you did them multiple times. And so unfortunately, I hit one of the loops at mile 20. I started hitting it a second time. And then I realized when I was asking people, is this your second time on the loop? They're like, no, this is my first. And I was pretty far in. So I turned around, sprinted back towards...
and you met my friend Bridger out there, right?
Yes. I met Bridger out there, who's been on the podcast. And that's one of the people I talked to and was like, have you done
There's
this?
no way I'm passing you again because, we were ahead of you this whole time. Like, you shouldn't be here, right?
Yeah. So, because I had passed him again. So I was really confused. But at that point, I knew I was wrong and turned around, sprinted as fast as I could downhill back to where I knew I needed to get back on trail. But where did you get lost?
And so, after that, Hannah, she rolls back through the aid station, comes back and catches me from behind. And I see her out of nowhere. And I'm like, why are you even here? Like, I know you were so far ahead of me, maybe like 30 minutes ahead of me at that time. And you probably ran 5 miles off pace?
It was about 5, yeah.
Well, 2.5 out, 2.5 back, right?
Yeah, it was about that because I came in at about 39 miles total for the day.
Insanity, because that's like, 30 minutes or 40 minutes of time off, right? Like, yeah. I mean, if you count, like, if you're running 10-minute miles, you went 5 miles off pace.
Yeah.
You went 50 minutes off pace. Like,
yeah.
That's crazy. And anyways, we'll talk about how she finished, but she passes me again. She was pissed. Like, I could see it in her eyes, but I think that it kind of lit a little fire into her ass because she was going. She was not with me for very long. She was there, and then she kept taking off. I was like, oh, she might run with me for a little bit. Hannah's pissed. Maybe she's just going to, go easy now that she took a wrong turn. No. Hannah took off.
Yeah.
It was
I knew
awesome.
I had to sprint to figure out what place I was in and try to get back up there. So I did run, but don't get me wrong. I was exhausted after getting back on the right trail. I was so tired. I was like, where is the next aid station? I need more water. I need more fuel. But, you live, you learn with trails like this.
Yeah.
Every race like this, you risk getting lost because the trails are complex. You can't always see or find a flag, or maybe the flag's gotten pulled out, whatever it may be. And unfortunately, my watch died the day prior to the race. It was really rough. I almost pulled from the race, but my watch died, and then my phone was dying, and there wasn't reception, obviously. So, like, if you didn't really have the map pulled up, you were just trying to figure out where to go. So,
just following flags.
Yeah, it's just the risk you take. So it's my own fault.
And so talk to me a little bit about like what happened after, you saw me, since I didn't see you for the rest of the race. Like I did miss a turn later on after Hannah passed me. I was running and I saw a parking lot and I thought it was the aid station. Kept running towards that parking lot, got there was no one there. Yeah. And I turned around and the hikers on the trail were like, yeah, everyone turned at that last turn back there, buddy. And so I only went 2 miles off track in total. So I ran 36 miles, but you ended up running 39 miles?
39, yeah.
Yeah, so tell me about the back half.
Yeah. The back half, it was difficult because it heated up through the day. It was really hot.
Yeah, we started the day at 45 degrees. It was gorgeous.
Yeah.
And then it like 75, 80 degrees by the midday end.
Yeah. He started in a cutoff t-shirt, which I thought was crazy. And I started off with gloves and hand warmers and a jacket and a long sleeve shirt. And by mile 3, I was like, this has to go. It's too hot. But it did heat up at the end of the race, which is nice. I actually prefer running in the heat. But the back half of the race was good. I would say I was demoralized for a moment when I was off course, and I felt like I was giving up.
What brought you back? Like what mindset? Like what was going through your head? You're like 2.5 miles. You're pissed, right?
Yeah. I think what brought me back is that I knew I could place top 3 in this race. And I love when things go wrong because it lights a fuel in me to push harder. It brings out the side of me and this like internal voice in my head that is hard to explain. And it came out and I had to show out and it happened. But yeah, I think just being pissed off really helped me move forward.
You harnessed it instead of letting it like because a lot of people like when something bad happens to them, they shut down. Like you know, like they I almost was like when I turned around at mile 30 and missed a turn. I'm like, dude, like I just want to give up right now. I called Hannah at the end of the race. I was like, Hannah, did I take the right turn? I don't even know if I'm going the right way anymore. I
was like, you're almost there. It just feels so like close it's to the forever end. At the end. I always feel that way. It feels like it's forever. But you were right there. It was a little complex. Yeah. So you have to keep going, especially when you know you're getting close to the end. I feel like that's where you almost want to give up sometimes the most, but you have to push through. And I actually felt like I had a lot of energy left in the tank. Like I felt pretty good energy-wise.
Wishing she would have signed up for the 50.
Yeah. I was like, should I bump up? My mom kept saying during the race, like at every aid station, should you just bump up?
Everybody else. So in this race, by the way, guys, everyone dropped from the 50 to the 34, not the other way around. That it doesn't go that way.
Yeah.
Usually.
It usually doesn't go that way. But I was feeling really good, which is odd because I felt like my training blocks and everything weren't great this time around.
She undersells herself. She did 40 miles like 2 weeks before the race.
Yeah.
Like you did fine on the training blocks.
I would like to do more. But since I was feeling good, I felt like I just had to give it my absolute all. And my whole family went there to watch me and support me. And so if my whole family is going to be there and I say I'm going to do something, I have to show up and do it. Especially the day before when I wanted to pull from the race and everything was going wrong. It felt like I knew at this point, I kind of just said,
it's in God's hands now.
I have to do it. And, when everything goes wrong, just gives you more fuel to just say, I might as well go all out because I got nothing to lose. So That's kind of what it was.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
And so by the end, Hannah had worked her way all the way back to third place, and she finishes on the podium.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if it's
Congratulations.
third or second.
I think you're second now, right? Like it
second
moved it up,
now.
right? Like
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
hey, we'll take silver. Let's
Yeah.
go.
I will take silver. Yeah.
And like honestly, if she wouldn't have ran 5 miles off pace, she would have put herself pretty close to that top spot. Now that person won by like an hour and a half. So
no, the person now in first place only beat me by 18 minutes.
You would have won.
I would have won.
You would have won it all?
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Oh, no.
You can't bank on that because you never know. This first place person also could have gotten lost. And so it is what it is. I'm trying not to think about it because I could have gotten first.
I mean, you got second place.
Yeah, I got
Did
second.
you even expect to get like you wanted.
Yeah,
you always expect podium.
I knew that this was my chance this year to podium. So yeah, it's exciting. I'm excited. I'm happy about it. But now that just makes you like more hungry to want more because you're like, oh my gosh, it was right there and it slipped through my hands because of a small mistake that I could have avoided days prior. So
and like it's clearly that you're built for this sport. So like how long have you been running for?
I started training actually at the end of last April for ultra marathon. So about 1 year. Yeah.
And she's podiuming, guys. Insanity.
It's just volume. You
yes.
just have to be all in. And yeah, I was listening to an entrepreneur today and I was thinking about this all week. It's just volume. It's so simple. Like if you want to be great at anything, it's just putting in the hours.
The 10,000 hour rule is pretty true. Like that's 10 years of like 8 hours a day work, which would be like you are a master at something. And that, like, if you put in 10,000 hours and I put in 5,000, that's 5,000 more hours than you did. Like crazy.
Yeah.
And the Kobe mindset, right? Like the guy used to sleep for 4 hours, wake up and train, sleep for 4 hours, wake up and train, and then sleep for 4 hours and do it a third time in a day. And that's 3 training sessions when you got 1, right? Like, and so how do you beat that person? Like you don't.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Volume plays and it's like iterations, repetitions, and like you're just refining your running over and over and over and over again until it's now low heart rate, easy. And I think I saw that the most this training block too, is that I got faster for no reason.
Yeah.
Like I didn't do speed work to get faster. I just put in more miles.
Yeah. You put in a lot more work, which and just time. And I think that's the thing that I always tell everyone and all my family and friends that ask me how, like, it's so simple. It's just like everything out there tries to overcomplicate it. It's so simple. Commit and put in the hours and put in the work and you can do it, which I firmly believe, which is why, you know, I have other big goals. Like I want to get top 5 female at my first 100 miler. And that's crazy. Like to me, that sounds crazy, but I know that if you commit and put in the work, then you will see the results. So
100%. And yeah, like Hannah How, like that's funny.
That was my nickname in high school.
I know.
That was my nickname
How did you do it?
That's
and so taking it back to the race, like tell me like how you fueled yourself during this, 34 miler that ended up being a 39 miler. Did you bring the right amount of fuel this time? And did you feel like there was any snags on the nutrition side of things?
Yeah. I did better this time. We have a little bit different fueling strategies, but I feel
have to eat like 1,000 more calories than she does.
Yeah.
So that's
and
like
you
the
like
difference.
Different things than I do. Like our stomachs just can handle different things. I feel like I'm refining that and it's working. I felt like my fueling strategy worked really well this time. I probably could have done a little bit more, hydrated a little bit more because I was cramping up at the end due to the heat. So that's good to know now moving forward. But overall, I mean, I ate so much applesauce out of those little kitty packets. I was like, these are amazing. They're perfect for fueling.
Did you have a strategy? Did it like every 20 minutes, every half hour, every hour? What was the strategy?
I would say usually I went by mileage. Like usually every 5 miles, I was trying to make sure I had something going in my body.
Okay, yeah.
And so, yeah, I felt like I had enough. And then I was, eating like the energy chews. I had the Stinger waffles. But the apple sauces are really what works for me. So I really leaned in on those, super easy to carry. And that helped me a ton. Good sugar, good carbs. And then I did a ton of ketone IQ shots, which I'm a big proponent for those.
Did you really like them?
Loved it. Helped me so much.
Really?
So much.
So I didn't bring them, but like I tried them on a couple of training runs, and they were my best training runs. But I would say that like when you're out there at mile 30 and you take a ketone IQ, how does that feel?
I got my energy. Energy is, yes, it's a positive part of ketone IQ shots, but I also felt just mentally there and
Like
present and clear.
Brain energy. Like you felt like motivated. Like, cause like when you're out on the race, like I forgot my caffeine pills and I was so pissed because like I didn't like late in the race, I couldn't pull motivation out of like dopamine out of caffeine. Right. Like, and that's what I feel like a little bit of ketone IQ. Plus they have the ones with the caffeine in it too.
That's what I had.
So you had the energy ones. So you get that benefit of the caffeine and the ketones.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I love caffeine. And so I felt like it really helped from that perspective, but then also just the mental clarity that I gained while running 20 plus miles in. I could definitely feel it. I'm going to do it for every single race. I don't do it as much when I'm training. Obviously, I don't consume that much, but I did consume quite a few of those during the race, which was great. Big proponent for those. And then usually every single long run, I drink like a quarter to half of an energy drink, and I'm a big advocate for Form Energy. So
the First Form Energy. So like the thing about First Form Energy drinks is they have a bunch of tyrosine, right? And so tyrosine is an amino acid that helps you be motivated. And so it's the precursor to dopamine in the body. And so like say you have caffeine, but you didn't eat enough food that has tyrosine. Tyrosine comes in meats and like other things, right? Broken down into your body. But without that precursor, that dopamine can't fire, right? And so when you drink a Form Energy drink, they have 1,000 milligrams of tyrosine in there. So you get like the precursor to dopamine, and then now your caffeine works better for you. So that's actually one of the better energy drinks on the market, I think. Well, I think Frisella and all of them, like they have really high quality products.
Yeah, I firmly believe in the brand. I didn't know all that. So that's great to know. And I will say those energy drinks are the best I've ever had. And I've tried a lot of different energy drinks. I don't feel jittery. I don't feel like discombobulated or anything like that. And every time I'm doing a long run, I feel like just a little bit of a Form Energy just like picks me up and carries me. So yeah, I always drink the Screamin' Freedom every single race. And that's just like my habits, my rituals that I do.
Yeah. Last podcast when I talked with Deb about the ultra marathon coach from a few ago, she said she loves caffeine too. And one of her strategies was to take the weeks prior to the race off so that it's like rocket fuel hits way harder when you're on race day too. So that's a good one. But also we had to caveat that like you do lose a lot of sodium when you ingest caffeine. It's a diuretic, right? So you pee out more sodium, so that you have to make sure that you replace that sodium if you're an all-day coffee drinker. Now that's for everyone listening to the podcast. Like if you're an all-day coffee drinker and you don't replace the salt, you might feel this like lack of hydration, lots of cramping, all this other stuff, right? Because you are peeing out a lot of that extra salt, and that could really help you along the way. So
correct.
If you want more out of your caffeine, have good electrolytes.
Yeah, that's correct. And I mean, that goes back to the fueling side. I felt like I didn't consume enough water to make up for some of the caffeine that I was consuming. And that definitely hit more towards at the end, which now moving forward, I think, just even the week of, I just need to consume more water. And I've known that. But this time I really learned that towards the end when I started to cramp up. So I agree with that.
When I was talking to Hannah about, like, we were talking about fueling earlier, I did a different one this time, actually. So normally I always have my bottle of honey with me, and I did bring it, had my bottle of honey. It only took this much this time, but I used the Tailwind carb powders every hour on the hour. And so I didn't it's better, I think, taking liquid calories than solid calories. And I will now forever be drinking carb powder my whole time. I think that's one of the easiest ways to not have like the upset stomach, indigestion, and then having ginger tabs. I had some ginger tabs on me, and immediately if I felt anything, I'd take the ginger tab and it would like clear my stomach rumbling.
Yeah.
And pre-race, there's always question marks on how your stomach's going to feel if you go to the bathroom on time, all that stuff. But the ginger tabs helped a ton. Coffee, a ginger tab. All of a sudden, I could eat my breakfast, and I could usually, like, if you can't eat your breakfast for a race day, well, during ultra marathon, you need all the calories you can get. So, like, you need to eat that time, and so sometimes force feeding it is hard. And so, ginger tabs, guys, it's a really nice one.
Yeah, I'll have to try that too. This time, my stomach was fine, and I got up pretty early before the race to eat my breakfast and have time for it to settle and everything, because it's hard for me to eat like that in the morning. So yeah, I feel like you just got to figure out what works for you for sure.
Definitely test it in
but
training.
I need to test those ginger tabs because that's nice to have just as a backup.
Definitely.
And I like the carb powder. I take the carb powder from First Form, which is great. And I brought that to the race as well and drank that.
So since the race, how has your recovery been, and how have you been feeling body wise? I mean, I saw you at workout this morning or yesterday. So
yeah. I've been working out. I did get sick after the race and had the flu. So that took another day out of me.
Do you think it was because you were at a low immune state just post race, and then like you had other people, or is it like a random occurrence?
I think just my baby nephew just started going to
a
daycare,
okay. So
and I was
it wasn't related to the race.
No, it was just family and germs and whatnot. But,
okay.
And it was 24 hours, so I'm fine. But I feel great. I actually feel way better than what I thought I was going to feel.
Usually I'm out for like a week after these things, and now it's like we're already back and ready to roll.
Train a lot. You trained a little bit more than me in the mountains, like actually climbing, and I didn't do a lot of that. I did it once before the race, and so I was worried, like, okay, my knees, everything are going to hurt super bad. But I feel great. I'm probably going to hit a long run tomorrow and just
back to it.
Keep hammering.
Speaking of back to it, what's next? So what are we planning for later in the year, and what is your next few training blocks going to start looking like?
Yeah, I'm going to start back next week. Just jump right back in. This last training block going into the ultra marathon, I was peaking weeks around like 60 miles a week. Now I need to start jumping into like 70-mile weeks. And I'm just going to keep climbing from there to prep for the 100-miler in September. So I won't be doing any races between that as of right now. Maybe one for fun.
Maybe just like you can pick up and do any race you want. Like, honestly.
Yeah. So I might, but definitely I'm just going to pick up on Monday and kick off with, probably hitting a 60 to 70-mile week and go from there.
So when you do a 70-mile week, can you break that down for the people of like what that looks like on a day-to-day basis? Because like you have 7 days to get that 70 miles, that's 10 miles a day, but is it all 10 miles every day? Or is it like, are you doing a 20-mile? What's that look like?
Yeah. It depends on my work schedule and what I have going on how I break it up. But no, I don't do like 10 miles a day. I have done that, but I am not doing that typically.
That's not your favorite way to do things either.
No,
right?
That's like exhausting. I think I tried that once last summer and it was rough.
Because I see a lot of these runners, they have like run streaks, right? And like, I think run streaks are cool, but I don't think it's optimal. It's in the sense of like, if you're a runner, like trying to podium a race, right? You probably need an off day, and you probably need to hit a 20-miler and then you need an off day, and
I never
layer
take
that
an off
better.
Day. I'll say that
0 off days.
Like
at least walking or something.
Yeah, I always do
miles.
I always do miles. Like my Garmin, like the streak on it was like 40 some days, and then I got sick and whatnot. But so I don't personally like to take off days. I feel like that you need to be walking, you need to be stretching, you need to be doing all those things when you're preparing for something like this. I know like last year when I was training for the 50-mile, I took maybe 2 off days, like true off days in like a 5-month period. So I don't really do a whole lot of that, but in terms of like a 70-mile week, I've gotten into the rhythm now of sometimes breaking up into 2 runs a day just to fit around my schedule. So like get some miles in the morning, get some miles in the evening when the sun's going down, it's not too hot. And that's just how I stack it. So I really just do what I need to do to get the miles in. Try to front load the week if I can, so that I'm not trying to make up for it at the back half of the week, and then hit the long runs on the weekends. So 10 miles, 15 miles, sometimes it'll be 20 miles, things like that. And then I'll incorporate like lifting into the week. So like I'll still do High Rocks Club and lift and run. But
when it comes to
I was gonna say
when it comes to doing our club though, we do 1.5 miles to 3 miles in there, right? And so then you use those as added in miles, and then you don't have to run those 3 later.
Yes, I love those days because then I can break it up like that, and then in the evening I can just run 6 miles, which I like because I'm like, oh, 6 miles, that's not too bad. Let's go get it done. So I just plan to do that probably in the coming weeks. And then hopefully be able to get into a schedule where I can put more miles in the mornings would be ideal in the summertime. So,
are you going to do anything different with your nutrition and diet going forward? And are you going to like be intentional about that part too?
Yeah, definitely. I've been thinking about that. I need to eat more protein. Need to get more protein.
Yeah.
I'm realizing
definitely.
that.
It's funny because like people see bodybuilders and they're like, those guys need the most protein. But actually endurance athletes probably need more protein because we waste protein doing all these, like, when you go into super long endurance, right? You're going to use some of that amino acids as energy, and you're going to pull from different parts of the body, and you need to repair more. So actually you tend to need more as an endurance athlete than the rest.
Yeah, I definitely am not intaking enough protein. I realized just kind of auditing what I'm eating throughout the weeks. So I'm going to do more of that. I am going to stick to eating pretty clean. I know that sometimes I feel like I need to mix in like a Coke or something.
Like a sugar bomb.
Something that's
when it's like, maybe if you do around your run, like it has to be on that area.
I'm going to do it on the days where I'm running or preparing to run super far. Just because I like to eat really clean. That's when I feel my best. So I'm going to continue to do that, more protein. And then the carbs that I've been consuming right now have been working really well for me. And so I'm just going to continue doing that.
What kind of carbs do you use? Rice, beans, potatoes?
I do a lot of quinoa. And then I don't do as much rice, a lot of potatoes, and I love bagels, but I stopped eating bagels years ago because I wasn't working out the way that I am now. And so I wasn't consuming a lot of bagels, but now
bagels are back.
Bagels are back. So I am consuming bagels. Yes.
Very cool. All right. So talk to me about like the sacrifice and the lifestyle that it takes to do this kind of thing, right? You're training for 100-miler. Like, what things have you decided to put on the back burner? Because like, I know that you have to sacrifice some of your life for that, right? And so it is a demanding part of your schedule. It sounds like you got to get up early, and then you got to do it at night, and then you got to do it the next day and the next day and the next day. So what are you replacing?
I love that question. I was just thinking about that this week because I was looking back on how many years I've been getting up between 4 and 4:30 in the morning. And I started getting up at 4 or 4:30 in the morning in 2022. And I've been doing it almost every single day since then. And so I was just reflecting on that and what it's done for me and how it's changed my life and taking all of that into account. But I think what I realized is I don't really feel like right now in this time that I'm in, I'm sacrificing a lot. Like I love what I'm doing. I love how I'm structuring my days. I love how busy they are and in all of the activities and all of that. So I don't actually feel like I'm sacrificing very much.
It almost feels more aligned.
Yeah. I feel more aligned than with my purpose and God's purpose for my life, more than I ever have. And so I love that you brought that question up because I was just thinking about this week and doing kind of an audit on how I used to live, what I do now, and I don't feel like I'm sacrificing much at all. I would never go back and live my life the way I was living previously. And so I'm excited. I'm happy about it. I would say the only thing that you sacrifice is, or that I'm sacrificing is like sleep. I don't sleep, 8 hours every night, which I probably could if I put my phone down and just went to bed. But yeah, I feel like I'm sacrificing maybe that. And then I don't really know what else. I don't feel like I'm I mean, maybe people would consider it your social life to be
A little
sacrificed a
bit, you
little
know,
bit.
like you're not gonna go
Yeah.
out as much at night because
Yeah.
you might have to get up earlier than
Yeah.
they do.
I don't meet
So
as many people as I used to, that's for sure. But
it's funny you say
I
that
don't
though,
mind.
because like yesterday I had Kira on and she was talking about how this is the best her social life has ever been.
Oh,
Because
good.
it's like she basically now found her community in
Mm-hmm.
that like the ultra type scene where
Yep.
like these people are like all the people that have the similar mindset, where it's
Yeah.
like very hard to find other people that want to run 50 miles
That's for sure.
on a weekend.
Yeah. No,
But
that's amazing. And that's true. You find people in different ways, and that community could be really big. And so I agree with that. Like, I found a lot of people, I met you through working out and wanting to run long
yeah,
distance and all those things. So I do feel like it's not that big of a sacrifice because you're also meeting people
it's
in
just a new
different
community,
areas.
right? Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
new social atmosphere.
Yeah. I have learned I really thrive achieving my goals and doing things when I go inward and I kind of isolate myself a little bit. And that's how I can push through and do things. And so for me, I probably am not as involved in like the ultra running community and all of that stuff because I know that I like to kind of go inward and kind of just be in
Your little bubble, but that's because this is
bubble.
like your like competitive side. This is like
Yeah.
your craft, right? This is
Yeah.
your little baby. That's where it's different, but it does still take a village, right? Like, and it still
It
takes
does.
other people around you. Like, you
100%.
have like the best support crew. When I saw your family there, like, and they're ready at aid station number 1, handing you different stuff,
Mhm.
taking your pack, giving you different things, right?
Yeah.
And so it's
I'm
not an
so
alone,
grateful.
even though you like, that's like
Yes.
where you are out there. It's like, you
Yeah.
have that community.
Yeah, you train alone and you're out there running many miles by yourself, but yeah, I will say I am so grateful. I have the best supportive friends in the whole world. My family, I'm just so grateful for them. They're so amazing. They show up whenever they can to any race, and I'm pretty demanding. I'm like, I need this and this and make sure of this, and they do it. And so I'm just so grateful. But they've been doing that my whole life. I've been super competitive and involved, and they've always had to kind of form around that. So I think it's nothing new to them, but I'm forever grateful for their help because I don't think I would have been able to pull off how I performed on the race without that, for sure. Just like having
Without a doubt.
someone there when you feel upset about your performance, like as it's ongoing, is helpful. So yeah, I'm so thankful.
I didn't have anyone at my race, but I was stoked to have my friends on the race with me too, because
Yeah.
like it's such a fun,
You're so good at meeting
environment.
people.
And yeah, and I meet people along the way.
Yeah.
We got Kira as my new friend, and now I can go run with someone in Sedona if you ever want to go.
Yes.
We can make
Training.
our little trips. But talk to me a little bit about the 100-miler. So like, what 100-miler are we doing? And well, I'm not doing, she's doing, but what
You're gonna help
100-miler?
me.
I'm gonna be there though.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know how to pronounce the name of it.
The Mogollon Monster.
Mogollon Monster. I don't even know how to say it. I'm like, yeah, the monster race, 100-miler. Yeah, so I don't know a ton about it at this point. I know that I think the elevation on it
It's different.
it's pretty rad.
So
I don't know.
did the Mogollon Monster, but I just did the, I don't know, 50K or something.
Okay.
So I didn't do the 100-miler, but I did probably the part of the course that the 100-milers are doing, right?
Mhm.
And the difference between the race we just did and that race is I had 2 1-hour hikes.
Okay.
Straight up vertical.
That's great.
So there was a lot more like vertical climbing in that one where you were forced to slow down a little bit.
Yeah,
Because
for
like
sure.
you can't push at this much of an incline sprinting the whole
You're
time,
gonna
right?
burn your
You'll
energy.
trip, you'll fall over because you're burning out too many carbohydrates too
Yeah.
fast, and then you won't have any for the back half of the race. And so me and Fiji realized that later on that we were cramping up because of lack of carbohydrate, because you do burn more carbs on this race climbing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that that's like something to be aware of, is like when you're on those climbs is when you need to be sugar bombing and like, doing that kind of stuff. But overall,
Yeah.
after you get past the 2 climbs, it's like smooth and like long flats and downhills and different stuff like
Okay.
that. So,
That's
you
good to
know,
know.
that is like the fun part once you get there. But I do think you need poles on this one.
Yes. I already have. I've already been talking to friends about polls and all of that. So that is the plan. I haven't looked at the overall course. I just, when reading through the difficulty level and all that, I heard it was pretty tough. So I'm excited. It's gonna be difficult. We'll see. I mean, I plan to run majority of it by myself, and then have you and some other people maybe help pace me once it starts to get dark. But I'd say the first like 10 to 12 hours I'd like to do on my own. But I mean, the 50 miler and flag that I did, there were some epic climbs, and those ones for sure, it's best to try to preserve your energy and just walk up it, protect your feet from getting sores immediately off the bat. And so I'll probably do the same for this one, but I'll do my research and everything beforehand. So
Definitely. And like, yeah, like the cool thing about these 100 milers or these big races is that you get to have pacers and like a team behind you and drop bags and all these different like fun scenarios where it feels like a whole team environment. Like I'm going to have a great time just like supporting you on this race where I get to, talk you through different mindsets when she's down on herself and she's yelling and pissed, and I get to be like, you got it, Hannah, you're almost there, and like keeping it in there. So it'll be a really fun experience, just as the crew, I'm sure. And
I'm excited to have a group of people. I feel like that makes it super fun. And I'm just excited for us all to kind of be in the pain cave together. And see how everyone reacts to that.
And it's really cool. Like, I mean, again, if you can get a whole group of people to come support you on something, like it says something a lot that you're doing something great, right? And so something that at least like it seems like it's your thing. Like, and so like, do you feel like you're very like comfortable in ultra?
That's a tough question. I don't feel like that, but I don't know. I don't think that I'll ever say I feel like super comfortable with it.
Or is that why you go to it? Because it is uncomfortable, and there's not very many things. There's not like very many things that make you uncomfortable like that.
Yeah, that's for sure one of the reasons why I do it, because it does make you very uncomfortable. It puts you in a isolating position a lot of times with the way at least I like to run alone. So I feel like it does that. So it puts me in the space where I have to put myself in the mindset that I like, that continues to push me forward. So I feel like that is one of the reasons why I do it for sure. I don't consider myself great at it or even that good at it, but I want to continue trying. I enjoy being outside. I really enjoy running for the most part. Obviously there's days we all just hate it and don't want to do it, but I've grown to love like different aspects that are involved with it. So I'll continue doing it.
And you'll be a runner forever.
I will probably run forever. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will probably run forever.
That's probably it. Yeah. That's probably
maybe not as many miles, but
definitely.
I would love to continue running. I think it's just such a healthy way to live for sure.
All right. Talk to me about like some mindsets that you use to help fuel you. Like what is your fuel out there on the race, like up here?
Most women probably aren't into what I'm into. You
never know.
Yeah, I like really intense stuff and dialogue.
That David Goggins like yelling at yourself, like
Andy Frisella, Dana White, like that stuff. Like I'm not with all the feel good, it's okay, just take it how you need to take it to get through. Like that's not me. And that's for some people, and that's you, but that's not me. The way that I actually feel like the only way that I am ever going to get top 3 or one day first place on a race is through being ruthless with myself.
She's so ruthless with herself.
And I
I've seen it.
I stand by that. I stand by that. And I felt that even after this race. I mean, there was a moment I did feel proud of myself for how it turned around and how I came back and my mindset towards the end. But you have to be relentless with yourself. You have to be relentless with the stuff that you are also consuming if you want to be a winner. That's kind of my mindset. That's how I fuel myself. That's how I fuel going into the race. The whole week prior, typically I drop off. I won't really talk. Like I was like, oh yeah, I think we ran a couple days
a couple days before it.
And I was like, oh, I don't know if you'll hear from me very much. Like I just got to dial in. Like I'm going to dial in and I'm going to only listen and consume content that is ruthless and tells you that you need to push harder and you can push harder. That is my mindset. That is what works for me. I don't know if it's for everyone, but I do think if you want to be great, like you can't just pat yourself on the back and say, like, no matter what, it's going to be fine. Like, yeah, I believe that God's plan is always going to prevail, but you have to also will your goals and things into action. So you can't.
You got to live your
play
life.
Safe.
Yeah, you can't just wait back for your life to live you.
Yeah, yeah, and we just we live in a world now where it's like always pat yourself on the back and everything. And I think that if you are someone who wants to be a winner, you can't necessarily live that way.
I think that also though translates a lot to like what I see with clients and different things is like sometimes like too much with the body positivity where they make themselves feel good about it and they don't realize that it's okay to be sad and not happy with where you're at. Like it's not the end of the world, but it's that emotion and that like you being mad at yourself is the fuel to the furnace. Like, and that is like what gets you there. And it's okay to not be happy. It might look like she's not happy while she's out there, and then eventually, she finds she is not like always mad all the time.
Yeah, no, I cried at the end just out of like joy and happiness for how I was able to prevail. So,
but she holds herself to this standard that's up here, guys, and like if she's not hitting every little piece of that standard, she's gonna be a little bit nitpickier on herself, right? We're our harshest critics ourselves.
We are. And I actually am someone who believes that we should be a little bit harsher on ourselves as a society. So I can go on about that. But yeah, I just consume content. Sometimes I don't consume anything. I actually go off the radar and I just have time to think and reflect internally and think about my goals. And that is what propels me going into every single thing moving forward. And so I recommend that to my family and my friends too. Like I say those things. Like I think that that's how people need to operate, but that's okay if that's not for everyone.
No, I do. I miss like when I was in college baseball and like that is like baseball players are really superstitious. And so they always do like the same things every time it's game day. Right. So whether they're a pitcher, they got the same gum, like they got the same, like, they're wearing the same underwear that they wear every game, or like, they have like their one thing that zones them in. They're listening to beats on the bus and they're getting in there, playing their playlist. They're doing that thing. And I love like superstitious athletes because it just means you're trying to put yourself in the environment the exact same way every time so that you know what you have going into day one, right? Like it's mental preparation for the road ahead, right? And then that confidence comes from preparation. It comes from the miles you put in beforehand. And then now you've reflected over all of the things that you've done. And now you're proud of yourself to holding yourself to that standard. And then you can go into the game day, not just, present and intentional.
And I would say that some of that's not even superstition. Like, people are going to say that or call it that. But I think that's just routine. That's
routine and rituals.
Routine. And I have found routine is so good for humans. It's
organizes the mind.
Yes. And that's where you can excel is when you have a routine. A lot of times people, they are struggling or
they get decision fatigue.
Yes.
Like they can't make any, like if you take away all the decisions, like keep it simple.
Yeah. And so I think that's great because, whether it's the music that you're listening to or whatever it is, like I have those little things too, but I that's now just part of my routine. And so I think everyone should figure out like what their routine is and do it every single time. And you eventually, it's all going to work and things are going to seem actually less stressful. You're going to have less anxiety. I just feel like your performance does get better because it starts to just become so routine. So,
All right, I have a question for you. Are you the same way at work that you are when you work out?
yes.
Yes. So how you do anything, guys, is how you do everything. Because I know Hannah is the same, like, competitive nature. Like, she like wants to be the best at her job too. And right, guys, like that transcends all the things that you do.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. And I think that took a lot of time because, like corporate world where you're working with a lot of people, you do have to be cautious with the way that you're acting or the things that you're saying. Whereas, if you're performing in a sport or you're just training by yourself, like you can talk to yourself the way you want to. You can do all those things. But
different
it
expectations
carries over to now everything else that I do and the expectation for myself, for the team, how I want the company to perform. And so I feel like I for sure am the same way. I might say things a little bit differently, but I thankfully I work with mainly all men, and so
they get this mindset.
I can act and say a lot of the things of from the way that I train into how I work, with still keeping kind of that relentless mindset, which I love, and that's why I like working because I want to be relentless in the pursuit of succeeding and being excellent, because as Andy Frisella always says, personal excellence is the ultimate rebellion. And I firmly believe that. And so I take that kind of with me everywhere I go. And, I would hope that my friends and family would say the same thing, that I do that. So.
You do. And,
you.
as a friend. But I also just wanted to say, like, the rituals and routines, things that she's talking about on game days can be taken into your work. It can be taken into the way that you do your life, right? And so that's not just something you do on game day. That's something you do every day, right? Like it's like brushing your teeth. You do it every day, right? Well, that should be like your cardio. That should be like your workouts. That should be like the things that you set yourself up for.
Yeah.
And so
absolutely. I think it all correlates. And it's just the small things that you start to pick up over time. Like I said, when I started in 2022, getting up between 4 and 4:30 in the morning, it's like those small habits all then lead into business, personal, whatever it may be. And those small habits then build into that routine, and they're all correlated and just build you into, I feel like, a better human being in general. So yeah, that's why I'm so grateful for, the ultra running and having a community to run with, because, all the other stuff and, accomplishing things throughout the day, it wouldn't be possible without some of that stuff.
Without someone else to talk to about it.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, and to do that stuff with. So, and to start your day off with a win, it's like you're starting your day off with a win when you're with a group who is motivated and pushing you and all those things. So.
I love it. Well, Hannah, we're rolling up in that last 10 minutes. Any last things you want to tell the viewers before you get out of here?
I would say do your cardio, because we were talking about that at the beginning. So
I love it.
Do your cardio. It's good for you. Running is not bad for you. It doesn't have to be running, but I do think that you should do your cardio.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, guys, this is Hannah. You can find her on Instagram at Hannah How.
Yeah, Hannah_How.
And we'll catch you guys next week on The Price for Paradise. My name's Woody. Aloha.
Thank you. Okay.
Nice. 49 minutes. You crushed it.
That went faster than I thought.
That went way faster than and I was like, we've never had nothing to talk about, so that's perfect.
I could feel my legs like kind of twitching a little bit, and I was like, ah.